At University of Houston, we dream big, and so do those who support us. We raced through our billion-dollar fundraising goal 18 months early and dared to go beyond the billion. Today, we thank an anonymous donor for pledging $50 million, establishing Aspire Fund, the $50 million challenge, the largest lift ever to the UH academic program, promising to match dollar for dollar funding for endowed university chairs and professorships to establish 4 new institutes in energy, medicine, global engagement, and resilient infrastructure, to compete nationally for preeminent faculty and develop a force of academic talent to continue our quest for excellence. University of Houston. Here we go.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight to watch the world premiere of Houston Steps Up, a celebration of the historic success of our Here We Go campaign. Here we go, Cougs! We will begin the program to celebrate all of you in just a few minutes. But before we do, I need to tell you that every gift, every alumni and volunteer meeting, every word of encouragement and idea about how we could advance the university made a difference. You stepped up when we asked you to join on this endeavor, and the world now sees really who our Cougar community is and what we can do when we work together. So on behalf of myself and everyone here at the University of Houston, thank you. And thank you for your incredible generosity and commitment these past 9 years. Even when so many doubted us, you knew better. Even through so many summer storms, a winter storm, a worldwide pandemic, you stepped up and helped us achieve something remarkable. 187,464 individuals leaned in to invest, and every gift from $5 to $50 million made an impact. Every victory and every accomplishment made during this campaign is because of you, and I'm so excited that there are friends from every part of the globe watching tonight, and I hope that each one of you feels a sense of pride for making this happen. So please grab a drink, something to snack on, and celebrate with us and enjoy the world premiere of Houston Steps Up beginning in just a few minutes. Thank you.
When we started the Here We Go campaign in 2012, we did so with a vision of pushing our university forward and transforming it into the powerhouse we have always known it could be. We set our sights on expanding access to scholarships and fellowships, building state-of-the-art facilities, attracting and retaining top faculty, advancing academic programs, workforce training, and research in service of a healthy Houston, and building a nationally relevant athletics program. We set forth knowing that every part of the university mattered and would ultimately benefit from this campaign and the generosity of its donors. We said that to do it all, we would raise $1 billion. This was by far the most ambitious fundraising effort the University of Houston had ever imagined. An effort we knew would pay important dividends for our university, for Houston, for the world. We set a big goal and made a big ask. And when you saw that ask, you didn't step away. You stepped up.
What is this money being raised for? What is that right money? We are raising these funds to fuel, to build, and to transform.
And the Here We Go campaign really said to the community, hey, you're already a part of this community, but come be part of this Here We Go campaign. Help us boost, help us put the University of Houston on the map, help us make a difference, not only for our university, but for the city too. The two are intertwined.
The very fact that people have given in such a major way to this campaign means that our tomorrow will be much, much brighter than today.
For the last decade, this campus has been a rocket shot. I mean, everything that happens with a lot of momentum and a lot of success.
The other day I was walking in the Herman Park and I happened to have my Cougar shirt, red Cougar shirt. One student passed me in Herman Park. Then he came back running to me. Dr. Agarwal, you know, I was the recipient of your scholarship in 2008 or 2007. oh, nice meeting you. I asked him his name, really felt good.
Whether you're choosing to write a $100 check or, hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're still contributing to the cause, and the belief is both are important. It's that inclusivity, not exclusivity.
Huge portion of the total came from relatively small gifts from thousands and thousands of people, and these small donors are the future of the fundraising.
As a freshman, thought to myself, how can you fathom $1 billion? And then I get to my senior year, we're beyond the billion, right? I think that just encapsulates the excitement of the university that we're not only going to reach our goals, we're going to surpass them.
Houston steps up and delivers, and I think it's because we have such a strong backing. We have people who have been positively impacted by the university, and they want to support it and see it succeed way into the future.
I think that the university is poised for bold growth and huge goals that President Couture will continue to set and meet.
If the $1 billion campaign excites you, come see how you can be part of the University of Houston community moving forward, because I can assure you it's going to be just as exciting.
I was one of those first generation, going to college and on the campus of the University of Houston, and there is no question it changed my trajectory, for the better.
Well, I grew up in a musical family. My mother did her master's and doctorate here. I have about 8 family members that have gone here.
Well, since I've been at the University of Houston, when I first got here, I was more quiet. I was more to myself, and now it's my senior year. I learned to grow, learned to be more outspoken, and I've made more connections with students around UH, so that's been good for me.
You don't feel like you're a number here.
Once you're accepted as a student, you think to yourself, you're like, wow, I'm accepted as a student, but I know that this university will accept me for who I am, the background I have, and who I identify as.
I had no idea Houston would become my home. When I arrived here 53 years ago in 1968 with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Delhi College of Engineering in India. They put their hearts and souls into educating every student, including foreign students like me who came with a foreign accent and language barriers. They made it a wonderful experience for me. UH creates hardworking, critical thinkers with a can-do attitude.
A core value in our family unit, and I would say for many immigrant communities, is education. Education is the basis of growth and opportunity for somebody who starts all over again, right? So, a common theme that you hear is education is the one thing nobody can take away from you. My mom and my dad are sort of the classic immigrant story from the late 60s, the early 70s. They made the choice to come to the United States to further their education and further their livelihoods and grow their families. And University of Houston was the first door that opened for them to start that journey.
We told you we wanted to keep opening doors for dreamers and doers, and you said, I've got the doorstop. Since 2013, our donor and alumni community has given nearly $216 million to support talent and need-based scholarships and fellowships. Financial aid that only covers tuition isn't doing its job. Our scholarships and fellowships support the experiences that build networks, nurture big ideas, and broaden horizons. Only then are these students equipped to change the world.
Humanity First was something that really spoke to me because it's the organization with which I was able to go on a medical mission trip to Guatemala, and that's part of what the funding for my scholarship allowed me to do.
I couldn't afford to go on they had a French exchange semester. Couldn't do that. Way out of reach for me. A lot of my buddies went, a lot of my friends went, and I was super jealous. How can the university fill in those experiences that really bring this rounded experience of education to that student? I set up a scholarship 3 years ago. It's a $50,000 sort of scholarship, just kind of dedicated to just that type of student.
The reason I stick with the school is because the school stuck with me. The school believed in me with my scholarship before, before I even believed in myself. That sounds very cliche, but it's true. They knew that I could succeed, and they chose me for the scholarship, and I just felt so honored, and I knew that scholarship, that funding didn't pop out of thin air, right? It was backed by donors. It was backed by people who believed in the students and the future students of the University of Houston.
Think of philanthropy as not just the gift that keeps on giving. It really is the gift that keeps on inspiring and motivating as well. And I speak to that because of personal experiences with the Tier 1 scholarship and the Provost Undergraduate Research Scholarship. It really motivated and inspired me to kind of leave my mark on the university, to leave it better than I found it. And I think it does that not just for me, but it does that for all sorts of students who come here and are able to experience what philanthropy is at the University of Houston. And that's why I say that I'm so passionate about paying it forward when I leave. When you realize how much your life has been impacted as a result of philanthropy, and you can think about, okay, I could impact these other students' lives, it's really motivating and inspiring.
It's the teachers that matter. It's not so much what you take away from the school, not so much the knowledge, but if you learn how to work with knowledge, that's really key.
Our students are involved in all aspects of the research project, anywhere from brainstorming new ideas to data collection to analyzing the data to publishing to presenting it in professional meetings, and also in doing webinars and presenting it to the community as well.
They learn how the professors think, they learn about reasoning, they learn how to deal with data, they get exposed to graduate students who have taken a step that they might be interested in taking.
Combines to me the best of a teaching school as well as a research university.
I came out of an impoverished community and always wanted to make an impact and make people's lives better. And coming to University of Houston provided a great opportunity to do that because we're situated in a very diverse community, and to be able to take our science and think about ways in which we can translate it for community consumption and impact is something that really drives me.
These are highly motivated, driven people, and who have backgrounds that are not wildly different than the students here.
So we had the procurement manager from Bechtel Corporation, which was teaching our class. So he'd come in every day to class and our night class and be like, "Here's what happened to me today."
That the product that they're turning out, which are highly educated students, really fit well with businesses, and they're designed to fit the needs of what business has today.
And so for us, it's very important to have equitable relationships where we can sort of talk about what are some of the things that they need, what are some things that we can offer, which is a different approach than I'm a researcher, I want to research X, Y, and Z, and would you be a participant in my study? Instead, we sort of ask the community, what are some challenges that you're experiencing, and then how do we bring the university's expertise to bear to be helpful? Yeah, I think philanthropy can go a long ways in a lot of different sort of domains. One of them, an area that I don't know that we talk enough about, is the impact that philanthropy could have in having endowed professorships and chairships. That allows us to sort of retain some of our best faculty at the university, and having those gifts goes a long way in that space. I think gifts also allows us to take risk in ways that we couldn't necessarily do in grant projects that we would submit to the federal government, because we are able to pursue novel things that maybe doesn't have the preliminary data needed to justify it, but we have a very good hunch, and then we can take that risk, get some preliminary data, and then leverage that for bigger funded projects. I think that's where the philanthropy really could help accelerate research potential.
Like the National Science Foundation Career Awards in the College of Engineering. The year I received it, I was one of 6 people. that had received awards that year. And as a result, the college came to us and they gave us additional funds to help support us for whatever our needs were. And that just doesn't happen at other institutions. It shows that how valued we are, and the university is rewarding us in ways that really, it really helps our research programs.
I'll leave the university at some point because I'm turning into an old man, but the endowment will be here and the center will be permanently endowed because of this $10 million gift.
Philanthropy is a catalyst for progress. It helps us recruit and retain top faculty, and increasingly, it funds their research. A catalyst in its own right for student opportunities and for cementing the University of Houston as a center of innovation. In 2011, we were designated a Tier 1 research university. Now we've got our sights set on becoming a top 50 public research university. When it happens, we have our faculty and our generous supporters to thank.
But I come back to the research portfolio, which I think is most impressive, and where we just see an outstanding group of faculty working at becoming triple threats, doing research, teaching, and providing service to the community and to the university. We are a triple threat faculty here.
The visual scope of what is being done really conveys a sense of energy and optimism.
The public art program has shown a completely different side of the university too.
Now's the time. The city finally recognizes how amazing this university is, and I think nationally we're finally getting the recognition we deserve.
I mean, my time from 2016 to 2020, the amount of growth I saw in the university is astounding. Whether it be opening a new campus in Katy, whether it be opening the new College of Medicine, whether it be creating the Fertitta Center, whether it be creating new programs, and I see now that they're building the new law center right behind us.
One of the things that's going to be really great about the new law building is that the clinic spaces are frankly available on the first floor so that it will actually be literally open to the public, and the clinical spaces will be available for Houstonians and folks in the neighborhood who need those services.
I think moving forward, one of the greatest assets that University of Houston has is its focus on community. Like I said, it's not just a community within the University of Houston. It's not just about prioritizing, student success, but it's also something that extends out into Houston. And University of Houston really does prioritize helping its local communities.
Here we go help the University of Houston create a one-of-a-kind medical school dedicated to addressing our nation's shortage of primary care physicians, a critical contributor to poor health outcomes felt deeply in our city and across Texas. During its first decade of operation, the College of Medicine is predicted to generate a $4.13 return for every $1 spent on it.
The med school is emblematic of the relationship between the University of Houston and the city. And so it's not simply just putting folks in the workforce. It is also a hub of interaction because it does serve this community and this neighborhood where the university sits. And it does tackle a huge issue for just medical service and provision in the state of Texas and nationally.
Our first class of medical students took the White Coat Oath in July 2020. 57% are first-generation students, 40% grew up in low-income households, 63% are women, and 73% are underrepresented minorities in medicine. Every student is attending on a full scholarship that covers tuition, fees, and other expenses, meaning they'll graduate with greatly reduced debt. It's easy to write off a university's buildings as a means to an end, but they have important jobs to do. The buildings are where our people learn, play, live, dream, create, and grow. Great facilities make it easier to recruit students and faculty. Great facilities make it easier for them to do their best work. And great facilities elevate an institution's profile and reputation. Form and function are important investments. So with your support for Here We Go, we completed 29 capital projects. Some were critical renovations to existing facilities, and some were brand new buildings. Maybe you've heard of the Fertitta Center.
I remember when I sat down and talked to Tillman, I made a bold statement to him. I said, I think we can win a championship here. Maybe when not a lot of other people did. But when he stepped up and donated $20 million, that motivated other people to do it. Because when you see somebody as successful as Tillman willing to do it, that means that other people think, well, that guy been successful. Maybe we can do the same thing too. But it's just, it's just not Tillman. There's guys like Clay Hoster and Mark Cook and Dave Mars, and I could go on and on. We've had so many people step up and invest in us when maybe it wasn't cool to invest in us.
Opening in December 2018, the Fertitta Center already has so many stories to tell. In 2021, our Cougs made their first Final Four appearance in 37 years, capping a 28-win American Athletic Conference Tournament championship season.
People actually know who we are now, but we still got to grind and work as hard as we did when they didn't know us.
I get emails from Germany, I get emails from India, I get emails from all over the world. Our community is fluid. It's just not surrounding Houston. Our community has expanded all over the world.
Top athletics programs don't just unlock opportunities for student athletes and their coaches and trainers. They bring in revenue that supports other departments and programs. They ensure people know who we are and know we mean business. They bring our alumni closer, whether they live down the street or on the other side of the world. And they make our city proud.
When I recruit people, faculty to the university or students, the thing that I emphasize is the entrepreneurial spirit. That if there's something that you want to do, Houston is a city that you can do in it.
And Houston steps up because it loves a winner.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And there's a tenacity about Houston, a resilience.
You can't talk about the direction of this state without including University of Houston directly in that conversation.
University of Houston is a quiet leader on the Houston scene. University of Houston is always making decisions for its growth and its path based on how it can help the city and how the city needs us.
Houston steps up because when we see a need, we just take care of it.
I haven't been at an institution previously that was so invested in making a true change in their local community, a true partnership in their local community. And I hope we never lose that fire to do more and more and to think bigger and to sort of take risk. That's what makes it really exciting to be at the University of Houston. We're not business as usual. We're not just resting on our laurels and satisfied. We're hungry and really forward thinking, and I really appreciate that.
We're proving that we can deliver a sophisticated workforce with inspired leaders and expert managers and people with ethical compasses are coming out of the school now, and they're performing in the community, and nothing will ever be worth more than that.
How we tackle this big question, how we try to figure out how we're going to operate and how we're going to be and how we're going to move and motivate in the future. To me, there are so many questions I don't have the answers to, so I would look to the university to be asking those questions.
Houston steps up and the rest of the country benefits from it.
Well, you know, success breeds success, okay? People want to invest in a good thing. They want to make an investment where the investment will grow, and they can see the growth.
Students from around the state and around the country realize the quality of education that you can get at U of H.
I want the University of Houston to be a destination school. I want someone in Alaska to be excited to come to the University of Houston. I want someone in Bangkok to be excited to come to the university. And I think that's already happening, but I want the University of Houston to be that destination school, because even if you come from over 3,000 miles away, you're gonna find your sense of home here at the University of Houston, and you're gonna find people that you can relate to, but also find people that are different from you and that you can still relate to.
I feel that in an interesting way, the university is so representative of Houston, which is the fourth largest city in America, but it's very unassuming, and outsiders constantly underestimate. And I think the university is the same way.
We have a saying in our program: never lose your chip. And I don't want our university to ever lose their chip. I don't want us to ever think we've arrived. I want us to always, you know, regardless of what accomplishments we have, that's just part of our journey. That is not the destination.
I think what I hope doesn't change about the university is that it attracts a scrappy, resilient student. That's how I viewed myself.
I think making college accessible is a strength of the university, and we would never want to get away from that. And I think you don't have to sacrifice access in order to drive prestige.
I hope it never changes how tangible it is to young Art Chavez's. I mean, that to me is paramount. I wouldn't want it to lose its connectivity to the community.
Houston steps up because it cares about diversity and it cares about people.
The city is growing up and maturing and expanding and building to accommodate the growth, and the university is tagging right along with that growth. You know, the more, you know, you look at the numbers, the more you realize, wow, you know, we're knocking it out the park as a university, as a city. And the challenge becomes sustaining it, both for the city and for the university.
We all live in Houston, and we are going to thrive and decline based on how we tend this garden. So we can leave this up to other people, or we can decide that we're part of making that reality ourselves. And I think that sense of that commitment and that responsibility is a part of every decision of the kind that we've been talking about today. What do you do next?
Because it just goes right into the heart that once you become a part of the university, you're here to stay.
Houston steps up and crushes it.
Houston steps up to become the best university in Texas.
Houston steps up and dominates.
Houston steps up and opens doors to make new things possible.
Houston steps up and raises another $1 billion by 2035.
Houston steps up and all of us follow.
In 1974, I was on my way to America for the first time, sitting on a plane and crying. We were moving for my husband's education, and I wasn't sure what the future held for me. But I had a sense that furthering my education would give me the answers I sought, that opening this door would open other doors in the future. As a student and not knowing the language, I needed a lot of help and support. I was fortunate that I got it. Today, I'm committed to serving students who face adversity of any kind. I see university as a gateway to opportunity, a catalyst for change, and a way to build community. The University of Houston is defined by its students, its faculty and staff, its alumni, and its supporters, and the city we live in. Your success, individual and collective, is our success. Your energy inspires us to be better, and your generosity ensures that we can meet and exceed our goals. The Here We Go campaign is a testament to you, our family, and to what we can accomplish together. Together We Rise, Together We Soar is the title of our new strategic plan, and the title is given for a reason. We are a family, a community bound by a common mission and a common purpose. If we achieve any milestones in future, and we will achieve several, it will be because of us working together in sync toward a bold vision. And we have plenty of the milestones planned to become a top 50 research university, to become even a more impactful research powerhouse, to improve the health and well-being of our community, to build a nationally competitive athletics program and fully step into the spotlight on the national stage. But most important, to help every student realize his or her dream. We was the most important word in our campaign's name. Your support got us where we are today. Your commitment to the university and belief in its potential will help us maintain that momentum in future. I'm honored and humbled to lead this institution, to help it rise to its maximum potential. For all we have accomplished together, I truly believe we are just getting started, and I know in my heart the best for us is yet to come. Thank you, and go Cougs!